It's actually kind of funny putting Call of Duty and art into the same sentence. Call of Duty is a marketing behemoth, and it's understandable if it's ridiculous putting Call of Duty into the same scrutiny as any other beloved franchise. Because no other game franchise in modern times screams out milked to the bone. Because Activision for the past I don't know how many years has been trying to milk dry this franchise for as long as I can remember. And I will say after Call of Duty 4, they were really good at hiding that notion, but it seems that when the original Infinity Ward died, so did all the subtlety. But anyway, you get what I mean. It sounds kind of foolish to put Call of Duty under such scrutiny as a person who considers video games an art form. But if we really want to legitimize the idea that video games are an art form, we also have to include the games that kind of seem a little counterintuitive to this objective. We have to put it under the same scrutiny. We can't just leave some out, because then that would just be cherry picking. And how can we say that video games are an art form if we have to leave out games in order to legitimize it as such? So, love it or hate it, Call of Duty is a piece of art, just as legitimate as any other game out there. Does it mean that it's a good piece of art? No. Call of Duty is a textbook example as art that is meant to be marketed. It's not designed to be groundbreaking, it's designed to sell. Just like with digital art, as there are some incredible works of art on the internet, but of course there's also corporate art that's meant to be as inoffensive as possible to be used by tech giants of today, which of course is meant to sell a brand's image. But what does this have to do with Call of Duty? Why is it so important that we have to hold it into the same scrutiny? That's because one of the announcements that Activision made about their new game has really caught my eye, and I want to make something very clear. So what did they say? Well, Activision has claimed that there are over 3,000 people working on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. They have announced it as something of a good news. And to those who are unfamiliar with game development at all, that does sound like good news. After all, more people means that the game is going to be developed a lot faster, and that assumption makes logical sense. However, practically, it means nothing. Does it say something positive about the amount of content that Call of Duty is going to receive? Sure, I can see that argument making sense, and I won't deny that it's a logical observation, but as far as quality goes, no, this means nothing. This doesn't guarantee anything about the game, and this is the scrutiny that I'm talking about when we're looking at games like Call of Duty. Good art, and in this case, a good game, cannot just be made through having more employees working on a project. What makes a good game and good art is direction. How something is executed is definitely what determines the quality of the final product. This is most observable in things like movies and TV shows, which usually have the director being credited majorly, followed only by the writers. That's why whenever a TV show or movie becomes successful, no matter how many employees there are, the director gets the recognition, because their direction and their creative vision is what ultimately made that movie or TV show excellent. And games are no different. This is why you have lead game designers that, while they might not program a single line of code, these lead designers are what are mostly responsible for the overall design of a game, for the direction to lead all of those artists, programmers, and all the other types of designers in a studio in order to make a good game. So hearing that Activision has over 3,000 people working on Call of Duty, to me, and to everybody else who cares about video games as much as I do, means absolutely nothing. And to be real with you, it's kind of insulting. Because you know that Activision is only saying this in order to have good PR with their Call of Duty fan base, and many of them are none the wiser. And it's not their fault, they're just people who want to play a good game. And instead of releasing information that would honestly ensure a better quality game, instead they reveal something that is honestly worrying days before the beta. Because you can't just throw more people at art to make it better. That's not how it works. And all it does is creates doubt, and that maybe Activision is trying to hide something, trying to cushion the blow of something that they know is gonna piss off a lot of people. So they release information that sounds like a good deal, information that the everyday Joe is gonna take as something positive, and that's pretty malicious. So for my final word, I'm just gonna say this. I respect everybody doing their best in these conditions in order to develop Call of Duty. I'm not intending to send any actual hate towards the developers of Call of Duty. How the game is managed is entirely out of their hands, and I really hope that they are trying their best with what they've got. I'm sure it's not the easiest thing in the world to work with Activision, but as a letter to Activision, from the bottom of my heart, go fuck yourself. Milking people out of their hard-earned money with a product that they hope is good, that they can only find out is good after paying $70 fucking on, and then afterwards trying to milk them even more, is still and will always be one of the most insulting things in the gaming community, not only to the consumers, but also to other game developers. People who actually do give a shit about what they're releasing. People who are not trying to take advantage of a medium by making fake promises and misleading the public. It really is an insult, because it's practices like these that make people believe that video games are just a product. They're just a marketing item. They hold no artistic value whatsoever, which I wholeheartedly disagree with, but at the same time I don't blame them for thinking such. These past couple of years haven't really been the greatest for the gaming industry. Things have been pretty terrible for it, and let me tell you, Activision is not helping whatsoever, and their actions and the way that they develop games only hurt the progress of video games as a whole. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this. But now I'd like to hear from you. What's your opinion on this whole topic? Do you believe that the way that Activision and many other AAA publishers are handling video games at the moment are just a downright embarrassment? Or do you simply not care? Of course, that's not a bad thing, but I hope you do see things from our perspective as well. What are some of the most frustrating parts about the video game market for you at the moment? Please leave your opinion down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it. If you'd like to see more content just like this, make sure to subscribe. And thank you so much to my fellow patrons. If you'd like to support me, my Patreon is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.